Token counting and cost optimization, a Claude Master explainer. All right, picture this. You're running a nightly batch job sending thousands of documents to Claude Opus while you sleep. Everything is automated. Everything is fine. Until 3 a.m. when your phone buzzes. It's a billing alert. Your API spend just spiked massively and you are bleeding money.
So what exactly happened? You frantically dig into the logs and find the culprit. Turns out just 3 documents in that massive batch were about 10 times larger than expected. And the absolute worst part, you had zero idea until after the money was already gone.
The hidden token cost, specifically tool schema overhead. Let's dive right into this, because user text isn't the only thing silently burning through your API budget. There's this massive hidden cost lurking in your payloads that you might be completely ignoring. Here is the key stat you absolutely need to know. Tool schemas alone, we're talking hundreds of tokens per tool tacked onto every single request you make. Think about it. If you've got an AI agent equipped with, say, 15 tools, you could easily be burning thousands of tokens in pure overhead before Claude even reads a single syllable of the user's prompt. And that hits on every call, all day, forever. It's a silent budget killer that just continuously compounds. The pre-flight utility, count tokens. Luckily, Anthropic gives us a built-in escape patch to prevent that terrifying 3 a.m. wake-up call from ever happening.
It works like this. You prepped the exact same payload you were planning to use anyway. System prompt, conversation history, tool definitions, images, the whole shebang. But instead of generating a response with the create method, you call client.messages count tokens. No generation happens, you just get back one number, exactly how many input tokens that payload will consume. And the absolute best part, the call is 100% free.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got the standard, frankly dangerous workflow. You build a payload, send it blindly to Claude, and cross your fingers against a bill spike. But on the right, the optimized path. You build the payload, run that free token count check, make a programmatic, smart budget decision, and keep your bill perfectly flat. Intelligent model routing, or what I like to call the 3-lane highway. Let's look at a real-world production example to see how we build this into a smart architecture.
Imagine an API gateway receiving user queries of wildly varying lengths. Sending a tiny query to Opus? Way too expensive and totally wasteful. But sending a massive, complex block of text to Haiku, you're going to get really weak results. So, you use the token count as a routing signal. Short queries under 1,500 tokens get routed to Haiku for sheer speed and lowest cost. Mid-range queries, up to 8,000 tokens, hit Sonnet, and only the genuinely massive payloads above that threshold are sent up to Opus.
And here is the absolute kicker. That routing decision costs you nothing because count tokens is free. Boom! You've just added a dynamic, automated routing to your pipeline with 0 generation overhead. When to use it? 5 core scenarios. Beyond just routing, there are a few highly practical applications where you basically have to deploy this pre-flight check. First up, budget guardrails. Count every payload in a batch job and log it if it exceeds your limit before it runs. Second, model routing, which we just nailed. Third, conversation printing. You can count tokens right before a chatbot turn and just drop the oldest messages if you're redlining the context window. Fourth, tool schema auditing. Figure out exactly which of your tools are quietly bankrupting you. And finally, extended thinking decisions. You can actually compare the token cost with and without the thinking budget enabled to see if that reasoning premium is really worth it. Now, a quick clarification here, which is absolutely crucial. This token count is an estimate, not an ironclad billing guarantee. Anthropic might throw in a few internal tokens for system optimizations behind the scenes. Don't worry, you aren't actually billed for those additions, but it means you should use the counter for routing and logic, not your final accounting ledger. For that, always check the actual usage object in your generation response. Your free inspection window, the key takeaway. Bringing it all home, this is the ultimate lesson you need to take away from this explainer today to protect your infrastructure. If you remember nothing else, remember this. The very best time to know your payload size is before you pay for it. Token counting literally gives you a free inspection window. We're talking about one single line of code that stops hidden overhead from compounding into a massive real-world expense. To grab the full code examples and make sure you sidestep the common implementation pitfalls, head over and master token counting at claudemaster.net. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Are you going to keep sending those massive payloads in the dark, just hoping for the best? Or are you going to take total control of your architecture tonight?